Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so how would we know if our price is correct?
Doing a CMA.
Yeah, comps. So you know how to get that info. Good. All right, so how was the signage?
It was good. It got us there.
Perfect. Sometimes it doesn't apply because a lot of places don't allow signs around here, so it just depends on your property. All right, staging. How was the condition?
The home I saw was, people were already living, or were living in the home. So what I noticed was that it was just really well kept.
Very
I
important.
didn't see anything that was like overdone, like that was staged,
Okay.
but it was just really well kept.
Good.
It looked cozy.
Good.
Not cluttered.
Warming for sure.
So the house that I looked at was an 808 listing, and it was really, the house had a specific personality, and
We get
you
those.
could tell, like, but at the same time, the house also had amazing bones. So someone could come in with just maybe a couple $1,000s, renovate it to be a different personality if they wanted it to be that way. But it also had the opportunity to be a investment property, because it had bed and breakfast potential, so it was just, but the personality that it had, it was very well done, it was very pretty, it was very welcoming. And what I loved, in comparison to the other property that we had a chance to look at, was the reception that we got at the door was very warm and welcoming and friendly, and asked us any questions that you may have, and, you know, no, we don't mind if you have your shoes on or whatever, you know, versus the reception at the other property was very closed and snotty and arrogant, and yeah, it was just like.
Those are always fun.
Yeah,
Right?
Those make you uncomfortable almost.
Don't walk on the
Like,
white
why am I
carpet
here?
with those shoes.
Okay,
Right.
so my question for you is, did you post it on social media? Did you send it out to your database? Did it not sound like she liked that property and that it was pretty dang interesting?
I love that.
Did you tell everybody you know about it?
That's where I was kicking myself at the end of it, because that's kind of my goal, is to start getting more active on social media. But I missed that opportunity.
Why?
I was nervous.
No,
The house sold.
is it still listed?
Oh, yeah,
Then how'd you miss the opportunity,
true.
right?
Well, could you go back with it and get permission to do a little video thing?
Absolutely.
Unless, yeah.
Why not?
And then post it.
And ask when they're doing the next showing, so you're not
Right.
making them come out just so you can do a video. Say,
Yes.
hey, I wanna piggyback on your next showing, I wanna feature that on social media.
Yes,
Why not?
Yeah.
Sounded like you liked it.
I love that house. It's
Then
so
go get a buyer.
Well,
I would
love
just by
to
your
have a buyer.
description, I like that.
Just
Couple
so-
$1,000, fix it up, it's gonna be awesome.
Silly question, but I mean, if you're marketing through social media, for example,
Mm-hmm.
how do you know that you're marketing to your people versus just giving the listing agent free advertising?
Well, if a buyer talks to you, then it's your buyer.
Right, but if I just put on my Facebook page, I've got the permission to do so.
Right.
I put it on a Facebook page, here's this wonderful listing, I love it for these reasons, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Well,
It's
not
not
everyone on my
necess-
Facebook page, which I don't have, but if I had one,
I know, this is funny that we're having this
right,
conversation.
not everyone there would be of that first tier relationship, that would then, be my potential client. Maybe
Right.
they're gonna just go see the house.
How are they gonna see that house without you? You're not putting the listing agent's information on there.
In the open house.
You're not putting the listing agent's
They don't have an
information.
address.
You're
You're
just
just
showing
showing
the
the
I
house.
thought we were
too.
just describing.
She's not putting it.
We saw a wonderful house
It's a
and,
teaser.
Yeah,
So
it's
you-
like a
so-
teaser.
So yeah, so social media, two different objectives with that. Yes, one ultimately is to get business and to have buyers and listings, but to
Right.
get there, you need to have content. People need to be able to see you. So
Right.
content
So you
builds followers and likes, which
Okay.
eventually gets you business.
So I put up a video of the place.
Yes.
I'm the only contact information on there.
But don't you have to give reference to the listing agent or the listing brokerage?
No, you just can't claim it's yours.
Interesting, because I was told you
yeah, that's
absolutely
why I
had
was
to give.
misunderstanding with,
Yeah, you absolutely had to say
No, there's a
that
great listing, there's a great new listing.
the 808 team and myself would love to sell you this property.
you can use
I've
a
never done that.
nondescript.
I've never put the listing agent's name on there.
Are you sure that's?
It's just, you just stated it's a
Yeah,
listing.
why would you give
You
your
could just say
business
it's a
away?
listing.
You're advertising.
That's why I was asking, that's why I got
Cause
confused.
I had a
Wait, you
former
also-
president of RAM tell
You
me
al-
that I needed to give the listing agent, and that I could only
You
post other
understand that
listings.
listing is not owned by the listing agent, it's owned by Keller Williams. That listing agent does not own the listing, KW does.
But if it's an outside brokerage.
Then you can possibly put, then you can put the brokerage's name, that's fine.
Right.
But why wouldn't you just do a KW listing?
That's smart.
It's an internal listing, it's
Yeah,
our
then it's-
listing.
it's up for grabs.
If you go onto our KW app and you open up a property, it'll say the company it's listed by, never the name of the agent.
Okay,
You do not have to share the agent's name.
okay.
So if
Somebody
you,
told you you
Yeah, 'cause
had
then
to
you're
put the
marketing
agent's
for them.
name.
So I guess there was a misunderstanding of brokerages.
Okay,
If it's
so
an
the brokerage.
internal, so if it's an internal Keller Williams listing, it doesn't matter what team it's on, or if it's not even on a team. If it's owned by Keller Williams Realty Maui,
Yeah.
we don't need to put a listing agent. We can just say Keller Williams Realty Maui is happy to sell you this property,
I
whatever.
just saw this awesome listing on Caravan. If you're interested in something like this, give me a call.
Right.
So
Now, if it's a Fine Island Properties or a Coldwell Banker or a fill in the blank different brokerage.
then you would get credit, yes. But
Okay.
Keller Williams, you do not have to. Same as your app. Your app is just gonna say the name of the company.
Right,
So
okay,
you're never gonna put the agent's name on there.
just the name of the company.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's all you're required to put on there.
and only on outside brokerages.
Well, if you're Keller Williams, you're branded KW,
Right,
so I don't think you have an issue with that.
right.
You may wanna check with, I guess you check with Michelle, but I've never put on there that it's KW. I never go, this is a KW listing,
Right,
cause I'm with KW.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I always ask permission from the agent.
yes,
I would never do something that wasn't, I didn't have permission.
so you might say, it's not listed with KW, you might say, I love this listing, I'd love to post it on my social media. Can I do a little walkthrough video to post?
I just say, I'll give, your company credit or whatever.
Yeah.
You can even say, you can put their name if you want, but
yeah.
Why?
I don't know why you would. And as far as I know, because if you open up any listing on that Keller Williams app, then it does not say the agent's name, never does.
Well, you can just say, I have 1,500 followers, and I might be able to sell this for you.
Right?
If you have 1,500 followers,
Well,
Well, you know.
I just ask, can I have permission to post it?
I have a lot of
Never let the
friends.
truth get in the way of a good story.
True that, right?
otherwise it's a lie.
Okay, I certainly hope this we're gonna
I
get
don't
into
think
open
anyone's gonna
houses.
verify my number
Oh,
of
they
friends
will.
on Facebook.
If you say you're an influencer and you have 1,500 followers,
Okay.
they're gonna
Instructor stores, and I'm here to tell you the 5 steps to holding an effective open house. Step 1, strategically select the home you want to hold open. Choose a home that gives you the greatest potential to have buyers and sellers find you. This might be a home that isn't a great traffic pattern, whether that be car traffic or people walking by in walkable neighborhoods in your community. Select a home around a local event where neighbors or even out-of-town people might be stopping in. Step 2 of holding an effective open house is advertising and marketing. Marketing begins a week in advance of any open house you might hold open. Begin by posting internet ads a week before. Get a sign in the yard and let neighbors and passerbys know that the home will be open later in the week. Remember to contact both by phone and email any internet leads or phone calls you received on that listing prior to the open house. Don't forget to make 50 calls around the home prior to the open house and door knock for a radius of about 2 or 3 blocks. Step 3, know your scripts. Know what you're going to say to greet the visitor. Know what questions you're going to ask while they're in the home. One of the greatest first lines you could use is, thanks for stopping in to tour my open house. Are you one of the neighbors? Or are you out shopping for a home today? Immediately you'll know if you're dealing with a potential buyer or a potential seller. Step 4 is keep the right mindset and prepare. Remember, open houses are lead generation activities, so enter with the mindset of a top lead generator. Prepare yourself with comparable properties, market research, at least 2 or 3 other homes that you could potentially show should the opportunity arise. And step 5, always follow up with every lead that comes through that door. Call them, email them, write thank you notes that same day. A simple follow-up script to use directly after an open house goes like this. Thanks for stopping into my open house this morning. It was great to meet you. I did a little bit of digging in the office after we met and after the open house and found 3 other properties I think really fit your search criteria. I know the home that we saw this morning wasn't quite perfect, but these 3 have some real potential. We could get into them tomorrow at 4 or at 6, which would work better for you. Great, let's meet at my office and we can go from there. My biggest aha when doing open houses is remembering open houses are not a technique to keep current sellers happy. In reality, open houses are great lead generation tools to connect with potential future buyers and sellers. By using effective scripts and systems leading up to the open house and great follow-up techniques after the open house, you'll build a met database of future buyers and sellers. Thanks for watching KW Connect and make it a great day.
All right. What do you think?
I'd like to see it again. Can we see it again?
You wanna watch it again?
Thank
He wants a
you.
picture of the
I'm Chris
script.
Suarez, and I'm here
Yeah.
to tell you the 5 steps to
Oh,
holding
got
an
it.
effective open
You want me to
house.
just go there?
Step
Yes.
1, strategically select the home you want to hold open. Choose a home that gives you heart and let neighbors and house around the home prior to the open house to
Talk
greet
about
the visitor. Know what
yeah,
questions
the
you're going to
follow-up
ask while they're in the home. One of the greatest first lines you could use is, "Thanks for stopping in to tour my open house. Are you one of the neighbors, or are you out shopping for a home today?"
That one?
No, keep going.
Immediately you'll know if you're dealing with a potential buyer or a potential seller.
Oh,
Step
good.
4 is keep the right mindset and prepare. Remember, open houses are lead generation activities, so enter with the mindset of a top lead generator. Prepare yourself with comparable properties, market research, at least 2 or 3 other homes that you could potentially show should the opportunity arise. And step 5, always follow up with every lead that comes through that door. Call them, email them, write thank you notes that same day. A simple follow-up script to use directly after an open house goes like this. "Thanks for stopping into my open house this morning. It was great to meet you. I did a little bit of digging in the office after we met and after the open house and found 3 other properties I think really fit your search
That's what I want. And then what comes after that? What's next?
criteria. I know the home that we saw this morning wasn't quite perfect, but these 3 have some real potential. We could get into them tomorrow at 4 or at 6, which would work better for you.
Love
Great,
it.
let's meet at my office and we can go from there.
I love it. That's what you were talking about.
What is this?
An appointment.
Yes. It's a needs analysis.
A needs analysis.
So you're gonna sit down with them and you're gonna find out where they are.
Right.
You're gonna take 15 minutes and you're gonna have a conversation with them. I don't care if it's in the office or at Starbucks, but that's what that is. That's what we were talking about. Make sense?
Yeah. Alright. Or, yeah, the local coffee shop that's a mile up the hill.
I do it all the time. All right. So what do you guys think with that? Think of that.
Love it. That's a great script. And I'm gonna put my house on the market.
All right.
Just to
Just to do
business
that?
going. Right? Hold open houses. Neighbors open.
All right. So I'm gonna get the word out. Page 19. I want you guys to keep in mind when you're doing open houses, social media is like a really big thing. So what I used to do is every open house I'd hold, I'd shoot a little video and post it on Facebook. So I did this for 2 reasons. Number 1, I wanted people to know that I'm there. But number 2, I want all my friends and family to know that I am a working real estate agent. I actually do this business. I don't just have a title, which a lot of people assume about a lot of realtors. So if I posted an open house video, sometimes I'd have a tip. How long can your video be on Twitter, guys? I mean, not Twitter, sorry. Instagram. How long can your video be?
Like 50 seconds or something.
Well,
Something like that.
1 minute.
well, but now they've extended it with, they're trying to do like some sort of Insta story version, so you can actually have like a 5-minute video or longer.
Oh, like
Okay,
the
so that's a
IGTV.
different, but if you
But it'll
just try and post
expand,
it, it's
right,
only a 1 minute.
Right.
And it will cut your video to 1 minute.
Yeah.
So that's fun when you do a 1.5-minute video and then you look at it and go, oh, I didn't even get to the point in 1 minute. All right, there is a tip on the bottom of page 19. I want you guys to be aware that this to me does not apply. When it comes to Facebook, don't you use your personal Facebook account for your real estate services. Why? It lacks professionalism. Establish a professional Facebook account for your real estate business. That, I think there are both sides to that story.
Yeah.
So I would not take that as complete verbatim. All right, I don't really use Twitter. Does anybody use Twitter? I feel
Nope.
like Twitter's kind of out.
Just
But
to spy on people.
just to spy on people, there you go. But Instagram is kind of in, so, and especially with the linking of Instagram and Facebook, so you can post it to Instagram and it'll automatically post to your Facebook, which is just a really nice way to do that. So this says use images when you post on Facebook. I disagree. I think you should use videos because I think videos get a lot more watches and a lot more attention. So marketing a new real estate listing, set up a Pinterest board for your real estate listings. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna tell you about social media. You can consider Instagram and Facebook to be one just because you can cross post. But other than that, don't do more than 2 social medias and just be good at what you do, okay? So if you're gonna do social media, do it right, okay? So like for me personally, I do Instagram and Facebook, although lately I haven't been doing really well, and I do LinkedIn, because LinkedIn has a lot of professionals. So you gotta kind of figure it out. I don't know, for you youngies, maybe Snapchat, like, I don't know, they got all kinds of stuff going on. I'm sure you can do stuff on there, I just don't know. It's just like a foreign language to me, but go where the clients are gonna be for you and become a part of social media, because it will make a difference. All right, number 3 on page 21, communicate with the sellers. So, you told the sellers it's all about them, and I promised them a 10++ customer experience. I actually call it a 5-star experience because I feel like everybody's used to the 5 stars now. You've agreed to communicate in the way that works for the sellers, whether once a week, once a day, by phone, email, or text message. By the way, how should your sellers communicate with you?
Whatever they like.
That is exactly right. However they like. It is totally up to them, however they like to communicate. So, if you are somebody who says, you know what, I just don't do Facebook Messenger. Okay, so would you be willing to learn Facebook Messenger? If I meant you can sell an extra $15,000 worth of transactions this year.
In a second.
Right. So you have to ask yourself, like, what, you know, people will ask me all the time, how do I communicate with you? I say, whatever way you prefer to communicate. And by the way, you can call me any time of day or night because I put my phone away at night and protect my sleep. So you're never going to interrupt me or wake me up. So if I don't respond, you'll know, probably sleep. It's normal sleep time, right? So I create the boundaries, but they don't have to, look, some people like email, some people like text. So, I mean, I literally sold a condo and pretty much only texted the dude because he was so busy. We had like 2 conversations on the phone and 1 FaceTime.
Wow.
And the only reason we did the FaceTime is because it was the inspection period. Other than that, like, you a text, worked, whatever works, right? All right, so communication is really important and it needs to be their style of communicating, what works for them. All right, those words on page 21, these are important. Solutions, you need to be solution-based. You need to be responsive, understanding. So some personalities have a tendency to think they understand and then move forward. It's kind of like that conversation we were saying, you might want to ask your sellers if they think open houses are important. Don't just assume that everyone thinks the way you think, right? Again, this comes down to asking great questions. Did you have a question?
If they say they don't think they're important, do you then have a discussion on why they are important? Or
If I think it would really be valuable for them to hold that unit open
Okay.
or that house open, then we would have that discussion. If I don't think it would be valuable, then I'm not gonna move forward.
if it's an ugly house?
Exactly.
Okay,
You know,
got it.
relationships, we have to build relationships. We've gotta appreciate our clients, engage with our clients. Fiduciary, there's that word again, we love that. Marketing, we've gotta be business, exceptional, communication, predictability. Be the predictable person. So like for me, I actually have in my calendar when I call my clients. I usually call them on Mondays and Fridays, and I have a little block on my calendars, that's when I communicate with my clients. And they know they're gonna hear with me. And it's amazing when you call somebody and you say, I have nothing to report, it's my time to connect with you, and they go, really? They're like amazed, because they think the only thing you're gonna talk to them about is real estate at that point, right? All right, be a problem solver. Problems are gonna show up, you need to be a problem solver. Buyer, we like our buyers. Be referrals, we always wanna ask for referrals, be a resource. Style, I don't know, have style. That's my advice. Staging, sellers, approach. We want to be approachable and we want to approach people. Agreement, over deliver, so important. We've heard it, right? Under promise, over deliver. Under promise, over deliver. So, I told you they're in my calendar on Mondays and Fridays. What do you think I tell them that I'm going to communicate with them?
Friday.
Yeah, I don't tell them I'm going to call them on Monday and Friday. I tell them I'm going to call them once a week. Then I call them twice a week. Under promise, over deliver.
Smart.
Because then what happens if I get busy and I can't call them twice a week and I told them I could call them twice a
You
week?
broke your promise.
Right?
Yep, you're not
Under
dependable.
promise, over deliver.
Love it.
Do more than what you say you're going to do.
Love it.
Be sincere. Timing. And repeat. You want to repeat it all every time. All right. Page 22. So communication checklist. So preferences. So if we always ask and learn about our customers' preferred communication method, and I do that in a consultation. How do you prefer I communicate with you? Do you think that's an important question?
Absolutely.
Why?
Some people might like emails, some people might like you pick up the phone or text or.
Yes. And some people won't respond to certain things. Okay, let me ask you guys this. What's your texting style? No, think about this.
The question.
What's your texting style?
Oh,
There's the big old long run-on paragraph.
that's me.
There's the broken paragraphs. There's the couple lines.
That's me too.
There's the broken couple lines. You heard the term mirror and match? Do you mirror and match in your emails and your texts?
You should,
Yeah, you should. Why should you?
because they're telling you how much attention they really want to give you.
Yes, and they're also telling you how they read.
Okay?
So if you are the kind of person that gives me 5 lines and you break them up by a space, and I give you a long old run-on paragraph, do you really think they're reading that? They told you how they communicate. Communicate the way they communicate. Same with email. I've seen it so many times that you're getting like to the point, clear, really simple. And then you're sending like run-on sentences. You have to look at what you're getting and make sure you're communicating in that same style. Because people read the way they write. Does that make sense? Mirror and match your texts and your emails.
Wow, that's good, great advice.
Because nobody thinks about that. But think about it. Like I love the run-on paragraphs. They just go on and on and on. And I read every word because I have to, because I'm anal and I need to know. And I read every single word, and then when I go back to write them, because I'm a broken paragraph person, I'll actually take the space out.
Me too.
If I'm sending it to somebody who's a run-on paragraph person, I will create the same thing they created. I will take my spaces out, because I'm a natural paragraph space. If they're a single sentence person, I'll go down and I'll break it down to the basics and totally change my text. Because the worst thing to me is I communicated that with you, but they didn't hear you. Because you weren't communicating the way they listen. Make sense? Awesome. So that's the matching style. So always update. You know what? Updates happen even if there's nothing to update. There's nothing wrong with that call. I have nothing to update. I just want to hear your voice. How's it going? How are you? Are you good? Right?
That's nice.
Because you have the best conversations that way.
Yeah.
Be prompt. Always respond as soon as possible or on the expected schedule. Never talk down. This is really important. Always communicate as a partner with your customer. Okay? Your clients are your partners, and they have to understand. And that's another reason why that DISC becomes important. Some people don't learn the same way, and you can't get frustrated with somebody who's not understanding what you're saying. You have to kind of go, okay, how do we make it so? Because we're missing communication here. So let's figure out how we totally understand each other. Make sense? Take that time with someone and they will respect you a lot more. All right, keep a log, that's always good. So let's say somebody loves phone conversations. So what do you do after you get off the phone? You go and
Take notes.
Yeah, jot down.
put everything in command,
Yes.
or put everything in email. Hey, here's what we talked about, here's what's going on. I have an email file for every one of my files. Their last name and every email interaction goes into that file. So I have a log of my entire history. So if we have a phone conversation, I will put it in an email and then put it in a file.
Wait, So you write an email, where do you send it?
Them,
You
I
send
just
it
say,
to
hey, I
them?
wanna sum up what we talked about, so there's a
Okay.
few things.
Right,
If it's lengthy, if it
okay.
was one thing, it's like,
And that way you have a way of accessing and jogging your memory.
correct.
When we're talking
And
about
plus,
us.
like, if they say you didn't tell them something,
And you have
you
the
have
documentation.
documentation, yeah.
Correct. All right. Decision maker focus. Always include all decision makers. Do not ever assume you know who the decision maker is until you ask who that is. And you don't necessarily have to say who's the decision maker. Like, just, feel it out, have that conversation, make it natural. Because I gotta tell you, personally, because I'm a C, when I used to have those contractor guys come to my house and say, okay, I'll come and give you an estimate, are all decision makers gonna be there? And I'd say yes, and they go, do you have a husband? And I'm like, oh. Yes, I have a husband, and all decision makers will be there because I make the decisions. So don't tick me off by asking me a question like that, because it'll tick me off. Because it's like, just because I have a husband doesn't mean I'm not gonna make the decision. If I say yes, I'm good, we're good, right? I have authority. I've had the right to vote for a long time.
I think it's a really
Just-
important. I think it's a really important point, though. I mean, you have to think about the things that you're so used to saying. Maybe you've had other sales jobs, etc. You're now dealing with the consumer, not necessarily a business,
Correct.
and that's a really offensive question.
Correct.
Right.
It can be taken very offensive. Yeah. I mean, nothing ticks me off more than when I have a contractor in my house and I'm asking them questions and they're answering my husband. And then I ask him another question and they answer my husband. And he's literally looking at him like, why are you talking to me? She knows about all this stuff. I don't know about any of this stuff. And they're talking, I'm like, get him out of my house. Get him out of my house. Get him out.
Yeah, because they're not giving you the respect.
No, I'm like,
Right.
I'm literally asking you the questions and
Yeah.
you're turning to my husband and
Right.
responding to him where he's got a blank look on his face like, I don't even know what you're talking about. I make the food.
I made the food, yeah.
I love it. It's a backwards roles, but like respect the roles,
Yeah.
So yeah, you have to read people.
Can you give me some verbiage for how you go around that?
I just ask questions,
Like, does anyone else need to be in on this conversation?
yeah, just paying attention, like who are the buyers gonna be? Oh, we're gonna be the buyers. Okay, is anybody, like, it's perfectly fine to say, is anybody else buying the property with you? Because sometimes that happens, like a family
Right.
purchase or a friend or investment or whatever, so it's perfectly fine to say that, but it's reading the room, right? That's part of the reading the room.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who's really the decision maker here? And treat both of them like they are if you don't know. Yes.
Forgive me if this is being covered, but when you're interviewing them to find out what their wants are,
Yes.
and could you not say, like, is there any wants that one of you would like that the other one doesn't like, and then see if they're together, going, yeah, we've discussed those things and we've decided that this is more important, or if they're still at a lot, like, well, my wife really wants this, but I really want, like, and then you can find out if they're working together, or if it's really, what he wants goes, or what she wants goes.
Right,
like,
so you can actually take 2 pieces of paper and say, okay, write down your answers.
oh,
What's the most important thing? What do you see yourself doing the day you move in? Like, ask them and then see how they mesh
yeah,
and kind of bring them together. Oh, you'll have that. I mean, you've seen it on the TV, right? He
House
wants
hunters,
this,
he does it all
wants
the time.
this, she's up here.
Love it or list
Right.
it.
Yeah, exactly. So you gotta it's total psychology. You're gonna do it. You're gonna do psychology. All right, great attitude. Obviously, okay, customer experience. So an excellent customer experience will set you apart. Of course. So share with me, you guys, a great customer experience that you had in the past year. Somebody where you're just like, that just rocked. Yes.
yesterday called about a vehicle on Oahu, and the guy was so nice, and he apologized for taking a little bit more time because it was his first day. So by telling me that, I immediately was like, oh, we've all been there, go ahead, take your time. And then called back, and then emailed me, and then by name, remembered my name and wanted to make it easier for me. And he messaged me this morning I thought he'd probably forget, but followed up immediately, and I'm like, oh, and he's new, and I'm like, oh, he's a go-getter, he's putting in the work. I don't care if he's new, I don't need an experienced person, I want the go-getter who's gonna remember me and follow up and do everything promptly.
That was awesome, thank you. So what did we hear? What'd she say? What made it great?
He showed her the respect of being
Respect?
a buyer with
Yes.
money.
What else?
Showed her how he works and that even though he's new, that doesn't matter because he's still gonna be giving her the best experience.
Yeah.
That maybe like a more experienced person would have not had that much follow-up and,
There's the other key, follow up.
right.
What else?
Well, and he was honest, because there was a few things I asked him for, and I said, do you guys do this, do you guys do this, this is what I'm looking for, and he's like, you know, I haven't dealt with that yet, and he's like, but I am going to go, and he goes, speak to, you know, whoever it was, and he goes, and when I go to him, I am going to ask him this, this, and this, the questions that he didn't know the answers to, and I'm like, perfect, I'd rather have someone say, I don't know, I'm gonna find out, than, you know, like, fluff me off and give me fake answers and whatever.
Right, they find out.
Yeah,
We're totally different than
Yeah.
what they were supposed to be.
amazing.
I love it.
I actually added his name to his phone number, because usually those things I'm like, I'm never gonna talk to you again.
Right, but you saved it.
I saved it, yeah.
Be memorable, yeah.
You see that? That's the experience you wanna create. That was a great example, thank you.
Yeah.
Hit it all, right?
Yeah.
Respected you, followed up, did what, under promise over deliver, do what you say you're gonna do, show up, have integrity, be honest. These are all the things we're talking about, yes? Just be that person. That's not hard, is it?
No.
If it is, I can help you. Right? I love it. Thank you. That was great. Under promise, over deliver. All right. We're gonna watch a video called Create a Wow Experience. We'll see if he's got some of those spots too.
Hi, I'm Josh Bath, and I'm here to talk to you about creating a wow experience with your clients. Creating that wow experience with your clients starts right from the initial interview. When you're sitting down with them and you're listening to them and you're asking them good questions, that's really what sets you apart from the rest of the agents and just go in there and talk. The mindset should be not, what am I going to ask them next before they've even finished their sentence with you. The mindset should be, what are you saying to me? A couple things that I do to establish a really good wow experience for my clients. I tell them that a photographer is going to contact them. I tell them that a home stager is going to contact them. And after that's done, I follow up with them. And I ask them, so how was your experience with my photographer? Now, I already know that the photographer I've chosen is incredible. And they're going to deliver great service the way I deliver great service. Except I get to use the service they use as an extension for the energy I'm creating with them in that wow experience. Once their home's listed, how I continue on with that wow experience, I just communicate with them almost every other day. And that communication is either by phone, by text, or a follow-up on an email. The advice I would give you if you're looking for a place to begin, I'd sit down with a notepad and paper in a quiet place and just start writing out naturally in your mind everything that you do from the moment you've sat in their living room to the moment you've gone back to the office and handed the file to your assistant. How are you communicating with them? What are you doing? These are all incredible steps to communicate back to your seller because normally they don't know what's going on. And if you're telling them what you're doing, you're helping them remove some of that fear and building confidence and trust in you, which is exactly what creates that wow experience. For people thinking that they need to do something big and as a result never doing anything at all, go back to small. It's not about being over the top big. Sometimes wow is just following up with them when you said you're going to follow up with them. Or it could just be as simple as paying attention to some of their needs, like they don't have time to cut the grass. Maybe you might hire someone to cut the grass. That'll blow their mind. And for you, you can hire a local neighborhood kid. That doesn't cost very much. Little things like that, though, go a long way for referral business and creating a customer for life. That wow experience.
What do you guys think? You don't get to watch that one the second time.
Wow.
It's,
Wow. That's cute.
I was looking at it like, you know, like a relationship. Like if you could have that type of communication with your own partner, there wouldn't be any divorce. but you're updating the seller,
Yeah.
like, hey, I'm doing that, and yeah, a lot of them don't know
What's
the
going on.
process yet. So I was just thinking, oh, that's how probably relationships should be.
Thanks for
Yeah.
reminding me what I'm seeing. Appreciate it.
I want to know everything you're doing.
What else? Anything else he said? He said that surprised you?
I like how he drew it back to doing the small things, because a lot of people are like, how can I be different, how can I be different, when at the end of the day, it's just like, do the basics, because a lot of people don't do the basics.
Absolutely. I love to make clients fall in love with me. I do it in many different ways. So one of the ways I do it is I have a Hanai daughter, so she's awesome, she's local, she's in her 20s, she's always looking for work. So I had this older couple who, they were having a hard time, like physically, right? And they've got this 3,000 square foot house. So I said, she's $15 an hour, she'll do anything that you want. And they hired her, I don't even know how many hours they used her, but she was just packing boxes and helping them throw stuff away, and just, they fell in love with her. Subsequently, they love me, because I provided her. You know, I provided them with a painter that did a fantastic job that she just thought was the greatest painter. So I look like the hero. I provided good people, that's literally all I did, and yet she's always like, you take such good care of me. And I'm like, I literally just made phone calls. Wasn't that hard? But to them it was huge, right? And it was because I had met with them enough time to know their needs, to see the physical issues, to be like, you guys need, this is the help you need, let's do this. So it was like win-win-win, right? So look for those things, like what is it that they really need, and then how do you provide that? Even if it's outside the box. Like her going and helping them pack up boxes is not, I don't have anybody on my vendor list that does that. That's what they need. So it's like, how do you provide that? You know, what's the extra little stuff you can do so people feel you're on top of it? Make sense? And like you said, communication. All right, page 25 is super service. So sincerity, be honest and reliable, understanding, focus on their needs, wants, and values, predictability, deliver what is promised and expected, exceptionality, provide the extraordinary and uncommon, and responsiveness, report quickly and reliably. Let's get you repeat business and referrals. The relationship is bigger than one transaction. Remember that. All right, how many of you brought your listing presentation with you? Well, some of you have computers, so just pull up. Do you have one on your computer? Do you guys have a download listing presentation yet on your computer?
Yes, I have a script on my phone.
Oh, there you go. Did you download one yet? Okay, so go to the My KW and download the one on My KW. So I think that is that might be the long one. There's one in command too. Okay, so do a little practice. So I already told you guys when you'll do your listing presentation and have it all ready, right?
What?
The night before somebody wants to list their property.
Oh, yeah, that makes total sense.
We'll be like, work on your listing presentation, work on your listing presentation, work on your listing presentation. And then you'll get, somebody will be like, can you list my house? And you're like, oh, that listing presentation. And you'll spend all night fixing it up. So it'll be ready. All right, so we're gonna do a little practice. Did you find one?
KW.com.
Which one do you have?
Yeah.
No, that's the KWLS.
The one that we took? Let's do a
Go
presentation.
to.
Oh, it's on, yeah, my presentation.
Yeah.
Well, that's,
So my
mine's on my
KW,
phone.
intranet. And then do Market Center
Are you bringing
documents.
a boyfriend? Are you gonna go?
Market Center?
Come. Oh wait, it's this Friday, right?
And documents.
I was like, it's just an opportunity to like socialize and meet other people and not feel as awkward.
Yeah, the My KW, the Market Center documents. So if you go to the internet,
But yeah, that too.
That
I was like, nobody knows me.
and then you go into the Market Center and then you go,
Yeah,
it's
just
documents.
stroll
You should
around.
be a listing
Like,
A lot of
presentation.
us will be here.
Do I go
Either
single or
It
do
might be in your
I?
buy-in list.
Right.
Maybe buyer in list.
A girlfriend.
Click on that one.
You could.
And
You have a
I think
plus
the
one,
that's
so.
good.
Yeah, I know, right?
Scroll down.
Anybody.
I think it's
So what are we supposed to do once we get to my KW, what?
I'm getting a massage.
I think it might be that one. Hold that one. So that one.
You're not gonna go?
Alright, so I just need you guys to pair up, and I need everybody who has a computer.
Okay, well, once we're there, what do we do? At my
The My KW, documents, My Market Center, documents.
Documents.
I don't see,
Did you click on Market Center?
On the bottom.
Oh, my internet.
Market Center, click on
Yep.
that, okay.
Sounds like you, but I know I've met you before somewhere.
And then
Maybe
Market
online
Center's
for
on
like
the
a week
top.
or two or something,
that
like
again?
have you come to any
Market
other
Center.
real estate?
I don't know.
I'll walk my dog.
Return to my.
You ever take Uber?
Maybe.
Have you had a foreign Uber driver?
Oh, I
His
did have
accent?
it?
No.
Have
No,
you
no,
had one, eh?
no, I had an Uber driver who
Yeah.
was foreign, but he was like blonde.
That's lovely.
This is my listing presentation.
Okay,
Well, welcome.
do you have yours up?
book that I have.
Did you download it?
Someone was.
Team up.
Well,
Team up
yeah.
partner, are you guys working together?
No, yes.
Hi, Gabriella.
I don't know what I'm doing, but I can watch you do yours. I don't know.
Sure,
Thank you so
but
much for having
I,
me.
I'm kinda
Absolutely, yeah.
lost
And then
to
finally,
it.
You're lost to it?
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, I don't know anything, so we.
Yeah, you're welcome to.
Are you excited about moving to?
And then when that downloads.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So I guess to each other, so am I better now? I just wanted to confirm something.
Would it be okay if
I
I
don't know
gave
where you
myself
are.
a quick tour?
No, absolutely.
Just when she
Oh,
was
you're
around.
5,000 square foot rent.
So
Just
Michelle,
like
this
that.
room.
This is the theater.
You're really familiar.
This is
That's
the
what you
spa.
just
This is the
Yeah.
herb room.
It's
No,
like,
I live
wow.
over here.
Meditation
Is
channel.
yours downloaded?
Yeah, it's really rotating.
Ours in,
And I need like an app or something.
Okay. If it's okay, let's use the kitchen table so we can.
What am I doing?
Okay.
Did you get yours down? Are we?
Yeah.
Is that?
Oh, do you have a
door
from
Italy?
So I will let you.
Sitting down.
So,
Let's talk about getting to
Then
know.
don't have it anymore, so that might be why she gets mad.
So-
It is on PowerPoint.
So,
So there's not
So
one
this
on
is you sent your pre-listing and everything, so now you're sitting with me
All right.
and
Let's talk about getting to Kula.
you are looking for an opportunity to list my home.
Now, the first
Okay.
thing I'd like to do
So-
is
I
review your
believe-
situation.
You got-
Wait,
Hear
not
about what's
the- not the
important to
template?
you about making this move. Is that
So
okay?
hold on.
Yes,
I walked
PowerPoint.
through your
You're not
home.
gonna be able to download it.
It's highly sellable, I think I can sell this in a short amount of time for the highest price possible. Would that interest you?
Yes.
Great.
You just gotta get a version on your computer. I'll email you guys a version.
Okay.
Tell me what's important to you in marketing. Alright, just, can we focus on house, you guys, your property?
Yes.
You're comfortable with that?
Yeah, they don't have a copy.
Not too many, please.
Not too many, so maybe once a
Oh,
week. is
okay,
that
here it
what-
is. So I'm gonna.
Once a week
confirm
is
all
fine
these
on the
questions.
weekends.
Okay, great, on the weekends.
Okay, so
Saturday or Sunday?
Sunday.
prior to me coming, we had a conversation on the phone.
For
So,
the-
do you have any questions for me?
Presentation to
Just tell me about
buyer.
why you're looking
But
for any
seller,
other
Why,
agent.
why am I different?
Yeah, so it's a listing
Well,
presentation, so
one,
you're in the seller's house.
I'm new.
Oh,
Doing
are
this,
you
but
together?
my broker is
Oh,
not.
okay.
My broker
Sorry.
has like 40 years experience.
So you're
Was this from like
Currently
an
not
app?
And his mother.
interviewing that
I
agent.
missed that one.
Firm.
Right.
Okay.
He did.
When you sell this
Yeah.
property, you are moving to
Then-
Kula.
So because I'm new, I'm
What's
not
taking
taking
you to
you
Kula?
listings, I will give you your
Um,
listing.
Well,
Total devotion
I've
and attention.
only ever
I
lived
will be
in
there
it,
to show it.
so